Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the Sour Graps post NXT after party deal. I'm your host, Alex Pawlowski. With me, as always, is the wonderful Miss Kate Fabe. Kate, I'm pleasantly surprised that only one result from Stand and Deliver was rendered meaningless tonight. They had the opportunity to do two, but you know, they already did one of those last night. So I admire their restraint is all I'm saying. They have plenty of opportunities to make a bunch of other stuff that happened on Stand and Deliver meaningless next week. So we'll figure out what they're going to do, what their plans are, Kate. How are you this evening?
I got to be honest, I'm a little tired, Alex.
Really?
I'm a little tired and a bit confused.
Yeah.
I think that I feel like every episode of NXT is the first episode. Like it's just constantly like nothing made sense from what happened to the episode before. But no, it does make sense, Alex.
What's that?
Getting in your super chats and your humper chats at humperchats.com.
Yes.
Leaving a thumbs up on this video, etc. Things like that.
Yeah. Subscribe to Fightful Select, where you can see us reviewing the 2 nights of
4 times.
2 nights of WrestleMania and 1 night of WrestleMania.
Yes, sweetie. Yes, WrestleMania.
We're still punchy.
Josh Safdie's muse at WrestleMania.
We're still punchy, kids. But you can also send in your super chats and humper chats, get them right on the air like this. Ryan Sullivan says, I didn't watch NXT, but I'm watching this, so that makes you guys the A show. Thank you very much.
Oh, we don't miss.
Yeah. Well, where was Carmelo? Is he getting called up? Maybe he getting called up. Who knows? I don't know. Mark Quill.
Where was everyone?
Where was everyone? That's a very good question.
Mandy probably in the pool.
No, she was there tonight. She was definitely there tonight. Mark Will says, Council of Marks meeting minutes. Bill Alphabet, welcome. We don't run NXT yet. Honorary members, Mark Hamill, Buff Bagwell. In Kate versus Matthew Plus equals Team Kate all the way. Oh, that's a lot of inside jokes for one particular Humble Chat, but you send it in, we got to read it.
There it is. And if you want to be cool, join the Sour Grap Society and you'll get all the jokes.
Yeah, that's true. Join the Sour Grap Society. It is a pretty fun place to hang out. A lot more fun than NXT, where you could be the victim of, I don't know, parking lot assault or, you know.
Or booking.
I was going to say first, kidnapping, and then bad booking on top of that. Guys, I may be sour, but tonight I am
Alex! You dare be sour.
Tonight, I'm salty. So I'm eating some cashews because I didn't get dinner tonight. I'm salty, Kate, but not as salty as the post-WrestleMania NXT crowd who went all into business for themselves tonight. Ricardo the bad guy. Yeah, Ricardo the bad guy.
Federally listed or something?
Well, we'll get to that at the end. But Ricardo the bad guy said, what's with the crowd trying to get themselves over? It's irritating. Flowman says, so Stand and Deliver was pretty pointless, huh?
Correct.
The Nerd Guru says, too much WWE has made me hate everything on this show, but even I won't be as bad as that crowd. What was that? And why do they stink? So tonight, the normal, like, going into business for themselves crowd that we used to see on Raw decided to all fly from Dallas to Orlando. Maybe they had like a connecting flight and they all just decided to use their layover to go and watch some NXT. During the first segment, we got a "We Want Ziggler" chant when Bron Breakker came out to do his, I won the title last night. We got a "We Want Ziggler," and then from a sizable, I would say like a quarter of the audience there was like a "We Want Ziggler" chant, which I haven't heard since like 2013. So like that's a feat. And then we want Ziggler. No, we don't. Dueling chant. I mean, it's you listen. If you're not a fan of Braun Breaker or whatever, but like nobody wants Ziggler. like what are we doing with that? It was you were upset that we didn't see Ziggler on NXT again, and I appreciate they didn't do a thing of like, yeah, that's right, you beat me on Raw last night, but I'm here again for a rematch. At least they didn't do that shit.
Kind of, but then they would have been 1-1 and had a blow off.
I guess
that would have made sense. I actually do want Ziggler. I liked him in NXT, goodness. But I would never chant it during Bron Breaker's.
That's true.
Like inaugural NXT mission statement speech.
His mission statement.
It's one of those promos where he's like, now it's mine and blah blah blah. Like this is what I'm gonna do with my title reign. And they were chanting for the heel through it. Full sail. You're not fully there. You have half sailed away. Full sail crowd. I'm coming for you, you Florida heathens.
I'm gonna say 3 sheets to the wind. Full sail crowd.
Wow.
3 sheets to the wind. That's what I'm gonna say.
In more ways than you even know.
That's right. Yeah, he cut his little promo about how, he had this amazing WrestleMania weekend. He after he lost in the first time he had a match in 72 hours on Saturday afternoon, after he put his uncle and his dad in the Hall of Fame on Friday, had his match on Saturday afternoon, and then he went to Mania to actually watch night 1, I guess, and night 2. But he said, I'm going to main event WrestleMania someday, he said. And then he had his a random, seemed kind of out of the blue rematch on Raw that he won. And I mean, I guess we're saying that they did that to get more eyes on NXT, which I suppose is correct. However, I don't know if you saw this, but I think it was Brandon Thurston who did a little deal of what were the most watched clips on YouTube from Raw last night. And I think the second lowest number of views was the NXT championship match. So like nobody cares about NXT. Like, I'm sorry. They just don't. It sucks, but they don't. So like they put an NXT championship match on Raw, and then it's up like unlisted on the clips on YouTube. People are like, nah, I think I'll skip it. I'd like to watch who Ezekiel is, please, because that's what Raw is for people.
Yeah. I think they would have a better time with NXT if they like acknowledged like people's championships reigns and time there instead of pretending it never existed and being like, hey, we know we shoved this reboot down your throats, but we also acknowledge that it was something it was getting rebooted from, things like that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Still didn't mean a whole lot to me to like do the whole Bron lost on Saturday, but won on Monday, so we can do this, what we're going to do now, which we'll get into later. But during this opening segment, Gunther came out with Bartel and Eichner to basically say, I want a title match because, I want to bring whatever back to the whatever, the whole Ring General stuff that he does. And Bron Breakker, because he's young and impetuous, says, you want a title match tonight? You got it. And then there we go. And so we're off to the races, and that's your main event. And the opening bout, because they're doing this now, where they cut away from stuff for no reason. Like, as Imperium is standing there, we see walking down the ramp toward them the Creed brothers, and they go, the Creed brothers are here, commercial. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why did you do that? You could show us what happened. No, you can't. Hard network out. They and during the commercial, they attacked Imperium, and the match started during the commercial. So they came back from the commercial, and they were like, hey, it's a match happening. So there was a match. I like the Creed brothers a lot. And I think it kind of sucks that they had a whole storyline set up for them heading into the Dusty Classic, which they won, by the way. And then they're like, okay, well, now they get a tag team title shot against Imperium, their rivals built up through storyline and, a bunch of stuff. And instead, MSK got in there as well, and they became tag team champions on Saturday. But Creeds are still pissed off at Imperium more, I guess. So they had the match. The match was good. And then something happened, Kate. I'll let you talk about anything you want to talk about that I've been saying about before we get to the really weird thing that happened that sucks at the end of the match.
I thought the match was actually quite good. Like, yeah. I feel like the Creeds have had the move execution piece of wrestling down in their first. I think they've had about 10 matches. They've been very, very good at that. But of late, we've seen them starting to put things more together. Their selling for both of them has grown tremendously. I feel like they've gotten much, much better at selling moves. Probably helps when you're in the ring with a team that lays their shit in, like Imperium. But they've grown exponentially, I feel like, at the storytelling piece, and just making sure everything is like clean and smooth in a match, rather than like, here's a spot that's well executed, which I think is very common with teams that are a show of strength in a lot of ways. So I loved this match. There kind of is a sneaky good tag division forming. Like, you have Grizzled Young Vets, and you have the Creeds, and you have Fabian and Eichner, and MSK is good in the ring. I can't even with everything else right now. But like, the pieces are there. The booking is just so atrocious. You can't even get behind anything. I'm not into the Brooks and Dunn tag team as much, but they're not offensively bad or anything like that. In ring wise. So God, like, it's kind of nuts. Like, they AEW and then like huge gap, and then maybe NXT is the next best tag division. That might be hard to say with Alpha Cat. Like, the triple threat that we saw was great. But
the whole thing is that they have really great tag teams on the main roster. They just don't get booked to be really great tag teams. Like, I have a lot of confidence that a bunch of these tag teams that are available. Like, if you told me, hey, Viking Raiders and let's say the Usos, who've had terrible matches on the main roster, but if you said, hey guys, we want the two of you, you get 30 minutes and you do whatever you can to try and top FTR and the Briscoes. I don't know if they'll be able to do it, but they would give it a shot and it would be really, really good. But they'll never be able to do that here because Vince hates tag team wrestling. And as evidence that Vince hates tag team wrestling, at the end of this match, Kate, Bartel and Eichner do a spot where a guy is hanging in the ropes, and one guy runs across the ring and does a low drop kick, and another guy runs and does like Reigns' old like a little drive-by drop kick onto the apron, and they both kick the guy at the same time. So Bartel does his, and Eichner just starts jogging past the guy and then walks out. And Bartel's like, what's going on? Or he's German, he says, was ist das? That's what he says. And then and then he gets beat because of course he does. He's in there by himself with the Creeds. And Bivens is loving every second of this, as well he should be.
Of course.
But he's like, Eichner just walks out on him. And like, Eichner and Bartel are great together. Like, they had some amazing matches. Like that match they had somehow with O'Reilly and Von Wagner. Those guys made Von Wagner look the best he's ever looked. Match from a few months ago was great. Yes, besides what?
It says a lot. It says a lot.
Yeah. So it looks as though they are splitting up Imperium. And I, for one, think that's a crime, Kate. And you said you would commit a crime if they did so.
I I'm going to commit a crime if
we're gonna have to crowdsource some bail for you.
Please do. I didn't say it was gonna be anything insane. It could just be I might just go loiter under a no loitering sign. So
yeah. No, to make sure there's no confusion. It wasn't like the guy got out of the way and Bartel kicked Fabian Eichner, and Eichner was like, "Hey, you got in my way. I'm walking out on you." He just left, and it didn't make any sense. Now, Bartel is the guy who took the pin on Saturday, so maybe Eichner's pissed at him for that. But he broke up a pinfall earlier in the match, and he could have walked out whenever. He walked out then, and it felt so weird to do it at that moment. But I'm glad the Creeds got a win. They got to do the unnecessary clothesline to finish off Bartel, who got color in some way, the hard way, I'm sure. This was a good tag match, and the right guys won. The right guys won, and then after they were celebrating, then they got attacked from behind by Pretty Deadly, who are the guys who beat them up. Now, they announced their names, Kate. They announced their names. Their name. Now, here I'm gonna read 4 names to you, and I want you to tell me who are the 2 new names. Okay, I'm gonna read them out of order. Okay, let's see if you don't look, don't cheat.
I won't cheat. Cheat.
Okay, here we go. Kit Wilson, Lewis Howley, Sam Stoker, Elton Prince. Which are the 2 new names?
Elton Prince has definitely got to be a new one. And Sam Stokely. They love alliteration.
No. See, here's the thing, Kate. Those 4 names are the same goddamn name.
No, they're not.
They're all the same names. They're all the same names. You're not you changed something like, oh, we want them to sound different and more menacing.
Wait, what was the right second one?
Kit Wilson.
Kit. How did I? Shame on me. I should have known.
Kit and Elton. Kit and Elton.
I think when it's not like Butch, we're just like, we don't care what they are. We're like,
exactly.
Please just don't name it after a U-boat captain or a newsie. Like, if you're not doing that, I don't care.
I haven't taken the time to Google either Elton Prince or Kit Wilson, so I have no idea if they might be serial killers somewhere. You never know.
Elton Prince, they should have done like Billy Joel Hendricks.
Good. That's good.
Thank you. Hey, Nowhere is a fun place to debut a new tag team that would affect an outcome of the match is a fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. They did.
Why didn't they cost the Creeds at the pay-per-view?
They changed anonymous names to anonymous names. Now, I don't know. I mean, it may be that Lewis Howley and Sam Stoker are their actual names, and therefore they must be changed because, God forbid, WWE just let people have names. But Kit Wilson and Elton Prince
also have been. I don't know if there's legal too with like the NXT UK transfer, but probably not because Imperium didn't change names.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Anyway, so now the Creeds.
Goodbye, yellow brick, purple rain. Thanks
good.
for the new bit. NXT.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris has a real long catalog, and so does Elton John. I'll do this all day.
The real Elton Prince is a 38-year-old actor somewhere.
Okay, that's not
so bad.
It's not a porn site or a U-boat captain.
Yeah. So they changed from their real names, I guess, to like fake names that sound like real other names that sound kind of like the Lewis Howley is definitely a fake sounding. Hello, Lewis Howley. Hello. Like that's a guy named Lewis Howley never says hi. He only says hello. That's it. Like. Anyway, I'm sure Pretty Deadly and the Creeds will have a nice little feud, but it keeps the Creeds away from the tag team titles, which is where they belong. the whole thing was built for them to take the titles away from Imperium because that was the whole story you were building. But you said, no, we're not going to do that.
Alex,
So,
there was a tournament and like
I know
weeks of programming.
There really was. There were lots of that. Yep, agreed. Mm-hmm.
Walter and Roddy Strong had a match. Like the Creeds and Eichner and Bartel had like I can't. It does not compute. I broke after the New Day rant.
The Batted to One Jam Beard says Elton and Prince are singers, and Kit and Wilson are inanimate objects. Kit was the car from Knight Rider, and Wilson, of course, was the volleyball from Castaway.
Of course.
So they're both inanimate objects. I bet that's how they picked the names. There you go.
Yeah, but I think of Kit from A League of Their Own, that whiny little brat.
Mm-hmm.
My sister. I got an older sister. Deal with it. Sometimes they are better than you at shit. Kit. She dropped the ball for you on purpose just so you could have your moment. That's what a frickin' whiner you are.
Mark Losper says, if Alex is salty, I am literally a molecule of sodium chloride at this point. How often do these crowds happen to any other company? How often do they happen to WWE? I have sympathy for the performers, but this company deserves it. Yeah, they were rowdy through the whole thing, chanting, the wrong things, they cheer who they normally boo and they boo who they normally cheer. All that kind of crap that they would normally have to do like a little explainer about on the Raw after WrestleMania. They went into business for themselves for the most of the show.
That's so dorky. I've seen crowds do that at ROH before, and I'm like, weirdly, it's not about you. Ruckus crowd.
The Nerd Guru says manifest the creeds in Alpha Academy, but it won't happen. Thank you. No, it won't happen because along the way, I'm sure that tag team, like Alpha Academy, is going to break up because
they've been together.
They've been together for a while now, so they got to break up eventually.
Yeah.
But also, I think once Gable Steveson steals the name Gable from Chad Gable and he's just Chad, Otis will be like, well, there can only be one guy with a singular first name in our tag team, so I'm out. I can't do it. I'm leaving.
What if they get called Chotis?
You're still punchy from this weekend, aren't you?
I am very punchy from this weekend. And from just, not even from this weekend. We had this weekend's wrestling and then bad follow-up.
For Elton Prince, we have Tom LaValle says, this is what it sounds like when crocodiles rock. That's good. Everybody, get in all your super and humper chats combining Prince and Elton John songs. And we'll read them all night long.
All night long.
Bill Alphabet says Kit Wilson is the talking car neighbor from Home Improvement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So
he would have the Cody Rhodes thing.
Yes.
Adrenaline in my soul. I watched the replay of that 900 times tonight.
So funny.
It was
so awkward. So we get a Cameron Grimes says, hey, he does his own version of I'm the champ now, and this is what it's gonna be like in the Cameron Grimes reign. Thanks, everybody. And then we got people like, you deserve it. No, you don't. Dueling
after
champs.
He dropped my dead single parent dad. They were like, you don't deserve it.
Like,
come on.
Like, I won this championship for my dad who raised me as a single parent. You don't deserve it, says the crowd. Hey, you're free to have any opinions you want, but maybe take it down a notch. I don't know.
I'm gonna let people behind the curtain real quick, okay?
Okay, do this.
We didn't have ad reads for tonight. So I asked Sean what our ad reads were.
Mm-hmm.
And to tell us that our ad reads were Blue Chew and Magic Spoon, he just responded with penis cereal. Speaking of Sean Ross Sapp and penis cereal, which is a weird thing to say out loud, Did you hear that Sean got kicked right in the penis?
Well, it wasn't kicked in the penis. He was low. Well, the old Ric Flair underneath from behind. Yeah, I saw that.
Denise's arm was standing on end. And if you need to be standing on end, why, my goodness, there is something that can help you.
Is your penis soft? Is it difficult to get hard? Do you have issues with sexual performance? Do you have issues with sexual confidence? BlueChew.com, code Fightful, gives you your first shipment of Blue Chew for free. It will help you get a harder, stronger erection. It will make you more confident in your sexual performance. You take an online questionnaire. You work with an online physician. You don't wait in line at the pharmacy. You don't wait in line at the doctor's office. It's prepared and shipped direct in a discreet package. That way, nobody knows that you are getting Blue Chew in order to make your penis erect. Blue Chew and the code Fightful gets you your first shipment free if you want an erect penis. I'm going to end the ad now.
There's two versions of that. I will always pick number 2.
Love lies bleeding in my purple rain. Little red yellow brick road.
Little red yellow brick road.
Benny and the purple rain. You guys rule. So yeah, anyway, we got the Cameron Grimes promo where he talked like this was also new information, I thought. I did never know that his dad was a single dad and raised him by himself. I didn't know that part.
No, he was waiting for that
so I was like, you already know that my dad is dead, but on top of it, I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you. Raised me all by himself. You don't deserve it. Okay, great. I thought this was a very good promo. He started out with like, "Hey everybody, we did it." And then Solo Sikoa came out, who we think should be called up to SmackDown yesterday so that he can become not Solo Sikoa, but Goro Sikoa, beating everybody for Roman Reigns, Shao Kahn as he sits on his throne watching the whole thing. But that's not going to happen because he's going to feud with Cameron Grimes in a respectful way. I liked this a lot. I did not expect this kind of a promo from Solo Sikoa, but I thought it was a cool way to do it because I never do this. Like, hey man, respect. Like you did this for your dad. Like I'm all about honoring my family, my bloodline. He drops bloodline. It's all about championships though. So every champion needs a challenger. So I'm challenging you for that title. And Cameron Grimes is like, yeah, we can do that. But after they were all out of lines, they were just like, they just got literally this close. And because it's NXT, Kate, and NXT is the horniest place on earth, I thought they were going to. I thought they were going to kiss.
They never do. They never do. That spot always happens. Wrestlers always get this close, and they never kiss.
Mr. Showtime says, when Solo and Grimes got super close, both I and my daughter said at the same time, kiss! We were both disappointed that didn't happen. Love you, Kalex. We love you too, Mr. Showtime. Yeah.
I was confused by this segment because it made sense and nothing makes sense.
That's true.
It was startling and I was alarmed because I was like, I like this and it's logical.
Yeah. Blonduso believes that honor is real, says Luis. Yeah. I thought this is great. They're having their North American title match next week. Cool. I'm sure it'll be great. I anticipate Cameron Grimes will retain, but it'll be a really good match otherwise. This is what developmental should be. They should do this kind of stuff all the time. In the black and gold days, new champion would win. A guy who you believe has a right to claim that he wants to be a challenger would come out and challenge him, and the guy would say, "Okay, you're on," and they'd have a one-off match on TV, and then they'd move the hell on. And it was good stuff because the matches were always great. and we could move on and like just do more of that and less of the next thing that they're about to do. But we'll talk about that in a second, because I'm also worried about Carmelo, because Carmelo was nowhere to be found tonight, and like, are they calling him up? Because if then, I'm worried about him for a different reason. But like, he was the A champion, and they built the whole damn like top of the mid card, like bottom of the main event scene. Like, he was always around doing everything, and you took the title off of him. And I thought to myself, okay, well, they're moving him right into the main event scene of NXT, or they're calling him up. If they call him up, good. I mean, that's good until we figure out that they're going to change his name. JW Pringle says they're going to change his name to Marty Greenbaum.
I don't like it when those things feel like a possibility, though, because it's like, haha, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, don't put that out into the universe. Yes. So the Grimes segment I very much liked. I'm thinking they probably are calling Carmelo up, which is not good. But this is also the first time he's missed. So maybe it's
true. Maybe
it's messing with him. Maybe he's
it
going to
is.
go find some drug dealer shaman because he's lost his way.
Yeah. Yeah. Saturday night's all right for when doves cry. Evan E says that. I think I've already done this one. Yeah.
Saturday night's all right when doves cry. Ooh.
The N and the H. How come you don't call me anymore, Rocket Man?
And if you need your man to be a little bit more of a rocket, go to bluechew.com. Use the code Fightful.
The Batter to One Jam Beard says Skyline Pigeon when doves cry. We got Greg Carter II says Rockets and Pearls. It's good.
You guys got to get into like Rainbow Children. You guys got to get deep with the like Prince cuts. Rainbow Children's the most underrated album he has.
I just want your circle of life and your kiss.
Both from movie soundtracks. Very well done. The Lion King and Pretty Woman.
There you go. Fred Worst says, Little Red Corvette, count the headlights on the highway.
I can't believe no one's busted out Candle in the Wind.
Battle to One Jam Beard says, I want to be your lover, Tiny Dancer.
You could I want to be your tiny dancer.
You could, but I like just throwing them together. Just try it. Asian Joe says, take my money for Kate's amazing promo on Kit, who liked the high ones and became a star because her sister only played 1 year. Team Dottie forever.
Team Dottie forever. Also, Asian Joe rules. He's so nice and supportive and funny. The Rockford Peaches. Come on.
Yeah. So we got a recap of the Who's the Hottest Couple competition.
Thank God we kept this going.
Yeah, it's got to keep going forever, Kate. It's never going to stop ever.
I don't want to see Carmelo Hayes back on my television.
No, but this gotta have more of it. We got the replay of them shopping. And I do love how Indy Hartwell and Persia Pirotta are both from Australia, but I don't know different Australian dialects or where one of them might be as opposed to another one. But one of them says Duke, and the other one says Juke. So it sounds like Juke. And I was like, is there a J in there? I love it. I don't love it, actually. Because I don't love this, because they had a match, Dexter Lumis and Duke Hudson, and with Persia and Indy at ringside. The only thing that was at all interesting would not be the right word, a moment, I suppose, occurred when Indy Hartwell pushed Duke Hudson's foot off the ropes so that he wouldn't get a rope break. But he kicked out of the pinfall anyway. But she resorted to cheating to help her man, even though she's nominally a babyface, I guess.
Love makes you do crazy things.
I guess so. And then they both went to the outside, and there was a tug of war. They were pulling each other, like, through the ring rope area. If you're standing on the outside, there's the ring rope stuff, and they're pulling each other, like, by the ring post. And so each woman got a hold of the back of her man's pants and was pulling as well. And then they fell, so they pulled each other, both their heads into the ring post, and fell down. And meanwhile, the count is at 7. So both women are trying to pick up their man and throw him back inside to see who one could break the count and therefore win this match, which is very important, Kate. But neither of them could. So then everybody fell down. And I don't know why unconscious Duke Hudson was actively humping Persia Pirotta, but he was. The crowd after this chanted, "That was stupid." And this is the only time that I agreed with the crowd going into business for themselves in the entire night, because they were right. I mean, that was stupid. That was really stupid.
For so many reasons. For so many reasons.
Yeah.
They also shouted "Sexy Dexy," which is weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What is this?
I don't know what it is.
What is the ankle? We already decided who was hotter.
Yeah.
What is next for this incredible?
Well, we can't end this thing without the mixed tag match. The mixed tag match must happen for the feud to end. But if that's the case, then do that yesterday. Like, do that so we can get over this thing and move on with our lives.
Why didn't they do that at the pay-per-view?
I have no idea. I don't. They're gonna build this thing out until SummerSlam, don't you know?
I have nothing. I have nothing. My tank is already low. I have nothing. I have nothing for this segment. Like, what? I don't understand the point of the match.
Yeah. Shot Kid 29 says, "I'm still standing. Get the funk up, Batman." And Better to One Jam Beard says, "Hakuna Matata party, man." Which I don't even know if Hakuna Matata was technically. I guess he wrote the lyrics to it. That's great. Ali C says, "I would die for you, Benny and the Jets." I love you guys so much. So we got a bunch of backstage interviews. The first one I'll talk about. Is Tiffany Stratton, who's like, "I'm not a loser. I'm a winner. I don't lose." And schoolgirl Saray, and then Mackenzie Mitchell. Actually, she was Warrior of the Sun Saray. Like they're two different people. Like, she had to correct her. It's like, correcting people is really unattractive.
I don't think she was trying to be sexy to you, Tiffany Stratton.
I don't know. But then she says, "I'll say it even slower so even Saray can understand. I'm not a loser." I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know what any of this is for. Like,
Alex, she's lost so many times.
I know. She really has. I don't understand. Like I get it. She's supposed to be this kind of character, but do people find this character entertaining? This kind of character, like this, the entitled Valley Girl stereotype as a wrestler, is that a thing people like? I don't know. I'm not into it at all. But like, it's not. I don't even find it like it's. She's doing the best she can with a shitty gimmick. I just don't understand why this person is a person that I'm supposed to be watching on television.
Yeah, I mean, the archetype's not going to be for me ever, but it's also not good even taking taste aside and looking at it in a wrestling context, it doesn't. We don't know why she's a wrestler. She seemed to be more of a tennis player. She's going around saying she's not a loser. She loses all the time. The only thing that like felt kind of like a feud is what she was doing with Wendy too, because there was like, it was stupid, but there was like an end game with her dad's credit card or whatever. So like, that had at least had some meat on the bone. Her just shouting that she's not a loser is not like a reason to keep having matches. Like I don't like it, and they've never put any meat on the bone for her yet. Like she's just been mostly having one-offs, which might be okay. Also, where she is developmentally, like she's been inconsistent in the ring. She's had some good moments. Was it her and Ivy Nile last week? Who did Ivy Nile make look great the other week?
I think it was Ivy Nile.
Yeah. That she actually looked pretty good in that. So yeah, it's just like I don't know what the story here is supposed to be, and it feels like the focus of whatever Saray is in should be on Saray and not her opponent just right now, just based on the
by far
the way it's going. So
it's the circle of bat dance.
That's excellent.
Don't go breaking my heart while my guitar gently weeps.
Nobody's done. Prince did. You don't have to be rich to be my girl. We were just talking about Tiffany Stratton. I felt like there was like.
I know. Mark Losper says, "Candle in the little red Corvette," and it seemed to me you lived your life like a candle in the little red Corvette.
Little red Corvette. Go listen to Rainbow Children. Some of you guys are very basic with your Prince knowledge. Great album.
Greg Carter II says Cherry Moonbrick Road.
See, that's a little deeper.
And we're talking about the end goal of this Dexter, this Index and Duja thing. The N and the H has the actual end goal of this, because NXT is the horniest place on earth. The end goal is a wife swap. That's the end goal of this.
Oh, for sure.
The end goal is a wife swap.
Some sort of orgy. Yeah, it's like a.
Yeah.
Like the live sex show wasn't enough.
Mark Losper, on behalf of Mex Chewy, says, "Nothing compares to you, Tiny Dancer."
You sent in a super chat for Mex Chewy?
I think so.
That's so sweet.
That is very nice. Mark is the greatest. So.
You can't just say things like that when we have a council of marks, by the way.
The thing is, you don't know which Mark I was talking about. All the Marks are the greatest. Everyone in the council of Mark is the greatest. I'm sorry, I gotta put this one up. It wasn't a super chat, but I saw it and I gotta put it in. Hold on. Hold me closer, you sexy motherfucker. I'm sorry. That wasn't super chatted, but I had to put it up. Okay.
We don't apologize.
So, on Saturday, Kate, a thing happened. Okay? What happened was this. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, who hated each other, I swear to God, 5.5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Like loathed the ground each other walked on.
She
became
hit her with
best
a
friends
shovel.
again. She hit her with a fucking shovel. They hated each other. They became best friends again because reasons. And left Wendy Chu out to dry. She wasn't part of this thing anymore. But Wendy Chu didn't seem to mind because she helped them win the titles on Saturday. She came out, she hit Gigi with a pillow and threw some orange soda in her face to help them win.
Kidnapped Wendy Chu. We should also keep in mind that Wendy Chu was kidnapped.
Which maybe that might be a good omen for who got kidnapped today. I forgot they've ran a kidnapping angle on 2 straight NXT episodes. Let's try for the hat trick next week, people. So Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez became tag team champs. Again, you'll remember they won the Dusty Classic to become the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, and then were immediately challenged by Shotzi and Ember Moon and lost the tag belts to them 56 minutes after they actually were crowned the first ever. So I was like, well, at least Dakota's going to get a longer reign this time. Technically, I was right. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez did get a longer reign this time. But it lasted 4 days.
I was going to say, that would include anything from 57 minutes and beyond.
Right. Yeah, it's true. We saw them get we saw Talks Trash and get a rematch tonight. The story of which was that Wendy Chu showed up again. This was a long match, by the way. It was a good match. All these 4 women are talented. Like it was fine. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. None of it matters, Kate. None of it matters. Like it was fine. There's nothing wrong with the match, but the booking is terrible. Because Wendy Chu shows up again to try the same thing, and instead Mandy Rose runs up from behind and shoves her into the steps. So she's not able to throw orange soda at Gigi Dolan this time. Otherwise it would have been curtains for Gigi Dolan. Then Dakota Kai is so concerned about Wendy Chu that she's not around to help out Raquel, who gets double teamed, and Raquel and Dakota lose the titles that they won on Saturday. So Toxic Attraction, who had not defended the titles for 8 weeks prior, or at least that long, to the title belts, to the title match on Saturday, they get to start a whole new reign of not actually defending the titles ever. And then later we saw Dakota Kai kicking stuff and throwing stuff all over the backstage and says, Mandy Rose, you're not safe. And so next week, Mandy Rose versus Dakota Kai in a singles match for the women's championship, because nobody really cares about the tag titles. Not really. Dakota Kai was just using it as a stepping off point to get her own women's singles title match. Kate, what the hell?
I don't know. So, you have the winners of the tag tournament that you had cashing in for a singles match. And then you have the tag champions who just dropped going for like someone who was a singles competitor who decided to be in a tag team with Wendy Chu for that same tournament. And then decided she wanted to be in a tag team, just not with Wendy Chu anymore. She wanted to be in it with her worst enemy. Now also doesn't want to be in a tag team and wants the women's championship. What?
Damn.
It's not that they don't even just not care about the tag championship. It's that they only sort of sometimes care about the women's title. Why are the tag championships used as a device for anything but tag team wrestling? Anything but tag team wrestling.
I don't know.
I just don't like. I've said this before. In their defense, it is very creative. It is also very bad. Like, it is.
Yep.
They have broken rules of wrestling in ways I've never seen before to make it not make any sense. They are so creative that they've made it terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope they find Jesus.
Yes. JW Pringle says, I guess that's why they call it, what is that? And I guess that's why they call it Starfish and Coffee. Roy Poston, who I read his you sexy motherfucker chat, he said in $2 because it's fair. It's only fair. Just to say you guys rock. And I guess that's why they call it cream. Evan E says, let's pretend we're married, Rocket Man.
Good one.
Tom LaValle says, and I guess that's why they call it computer blue. Yeah. Oh boy.
Did you see that Elton John movie musical thing?
No, I didn't see that.
It was so bad.
I
Everybody liked it better than Bohemian Rhapsody. I felt the exact opposite. So there you go.
The Bad to One Jambeer says, Alex, I think I know who will actually take the titles off of Toxic Attraction. It's going to be Cora and her freshly signed former tag partner, Roxy. Or whatever they're actually going to call her. Because they won't call her that. Perhaps. That seems like there's a built-in rivalry with Cora Jade and Toxic Attraction. Maybe
they were on the pre-show of the pay-per-view. Just don't have them win.
Oh, I know. I agree.
Dakota Kai could just be like, well, we lost. Fuck you. I didn't like you for a reason anyway. So now I'm going to challenge for a singles title. Like, it's like they were like, I'm going to tell the alphabet by going A, B, L, M, N, O, P, C, D, X, Y, Z, 4, $, exclamation point, hieroglyphics.
$, broke me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's only fair. I broke myself the other day, so to break you.
$, broke me. Wow, that was good.
Down to my level.
Wow, $.
Like, you would be such a natural story if she said, we were tag partners, I gave you another chance even though I hated you.
Yeah.
And you let me down, and I heard these voices in my head so psychotically, I think you suck. And Wendy Chu never would have done this to me, and I'm going for the singles title, and Wendy Chu is going to be the one by my side. That is so clean and simple. But instead, we did this.
Yeah.
What the what?
Okay. Hey, what's that over there? Says, I wonder if the voice Dakota is talking to is Wendy Chu's old gimmick.
Ooh, she's talking to the 5,000-year-old dragon lady.
Because what's over there also says a great character idea is Wendy Chu sleeps all the time because she is trying to suppress the evil 1,000-year-old woman she used to be. It's better than whatever the hell this is. We're like, I'm going to help the friend who abandoned me become tag title champions with somebody else. Oops, I failed.
Are we going to get a beef feud of Raquel and Wendy Chu? Raquel kidnapped me, and now we're fighting over Dakota Kai.
Single blue note, the panda says, can you feel the cream tonight? That's NXT for you people.
Glad you did not put that next to the blue chew.
Yep, me too. So yeah, Dakota versus Mandy will be next week. And the Nerd Guru says, I'm not for meaningless PLEs, but Dakota beating Mandy, I would not mind because I'm sorry, Mandy is just awful to me. Dakota has been in NXT for literally forever, and it'd be kind of cool if she at some point became women's champion. But what is the story you're telling then? The story is that Toxic Attraction gets the titles back, and then Mandy loses it, and like I don't. They're all over the place. I would love for Dakota Kai to be champion, but like, yeah.
Then you would have this. That's probably what'll happen because this is how they're just hot potatoing every single title. You'd have the tag team championships with a 4-day reign, and then Mandy, who won in a fatal 4-way, will lose to Dakota Kai, and then you would have tag champs and a Queen Bee with no title, which is the thing that would have made sense in the first place, which they also could have just done at the pay-per-view and protected Mandy in the process. So,
yep. Mark Losper says Kate speaks fluent wingdings. And Jevity Pringle says, Kate's speaking in wingdings. Call the ambulance.
Oh yeah, I'm broken after that New Day rant.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Raw last night didn't help.
No.
Like I was like excited. I was like,
know.
New Year, New You, Raw. Nope.
No. Chris Robinson says, to go along with all the improvements to NXT. Have you seen that they have added the tie-dye to the title belts now? I thought it was just a singles women's championship. They did it to the men's too. Like Breaker came out with it's
Iridescent
like,
one, yeah.
Yeah, iridescent. Yeah.
But they didn't like announce anything about it, did they?
They announced Mandy's at the play, but they did not announce Bronze until Vic Joseph brought it up tonight. So
the bubble soap titles.
Yeah. So Tony now is the Don of NXT.
He is.
He got a whole ceremony about it, which was hosted by AJ Galante.
Put the emojis up, you cowards.
The the crowd chanted boring through this because a lot of it was AJ Galante not knowing how to work a room of that size. Like he's he's apparently some kind of entrepreneur / he's on Netflix, but like he wasn't trained in speaking in front of a crowd that was hostile to him. So he was kind of like nervous and like forgot some of his lines apparently. But he was like, I want to introduce to you the new Don. And then out comes Tony D, and he gives him a ring. Got a ring gimmick. Everyone's got a ring gimmick now. And so he's now officially the Don of NXT. And I was like, this is kind of cute, for his gimmick. But then later, they did an outside in the parking lot segment. Like, hey, so what's going on later tonight? Hey, my dad's got us a nice old feast all set up at a nice restaurant downtown. Hey, it's nice. Hey, very good. And then Santos Escobar shows up, walks up to him, says, I see you are the new Don. Well, I know something about running a family myself. I just want to let you know, you stay out of Legato business, won't be any problems. And then
they should do this on the main roster with the Bloodline instead.
But they fucking should.
Yep.
I pitched this shit months ago.
Yep, you did.
Would have been great. It should have been a thing of like, because immediately Tony D was like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? And it should be seriously like, no, like two crime families from across town agreeing to a truce. You stay on your side of the city, we stay on our side of the city. You run the guns, we run the drugs, everybody's cool. Like, that's what it should be. Until one guy steps out of line, and then you got a full-on mob war. But that's what I was pitching for Santos and his boys versus Roman and the Bloodline.
And
I thought that could have been great.
So cool because of Roman's acknowledge me thing. They could have just been like, we don't acknowledge you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that would have been so great if they were the only people that weren't acknowledging him. Yeah, but instead now he does this thing, and then Tony D turns to AJ Galante and goes, what is this guy's problem over here? And so now I need to know, who are the guys they're bringing in as Tony's mob goons? Who are the two Goombas they're going to bring in suits to stand behind him so we can have 6-man tag matches? Because AJ Galante, I feel like is not going to be a worker. So like we got he was not good.
No. So I feel like we got to bring in two guys. I don't know who they got in the PC that they could actually just dress up in suits and then have them wrestle alongside Tony D in a 6-man tags.
That would be cool. I mean, he should have a crime family. It's kind of weird that this mobster guy is here alone.
Yeah. So there's that. I'm all for
Enzo and Cass.
Tony D.
Enzo and Cass come back.
If they re-signed Enzo and Cass to be, that, honestly,
that'd be hysterical.
I would unironically love that. I would unironically love that. I'm sorry, I would.
They don't acknowledge there was a gap at all.
Nope, never. It's like they stepped out of a damn time machine and they're just there. They still think it's 2016. They have no idea what's been going on in the last 5 or 6 years. It's just crazy enough to work.
It is.
Mark Losper says about Wendy Chu, if they somehow tie what's going on now to Wendy Chu's old gimmick, I will give them gigantic props. That would be legitimately cool, because they're never going to do that. ever. But it would be actually a feat for them to do that.
Like a Jericho never ever.
Yeah. The Battered to One Jam Beard says that they look like unicorn puke titles.
Kind of. They look like bubble soap though. Like
yeah,
when
they do. Yeah.
When you blow a bubble and it gets
Mhm.
all iridescent and pretty.
That's
Like
true.
I'm glad that the belts are not colorful. They just have a shine to them.
Yeah. Single Blue Note the Panda to make things all square because we read their non-super chat have sent in a little donation saying because
You guys are so sweet.
Because my extra raunchy sounding non-super chat was read. Or extra sounding. I put in something else there. We got we're going to refrain from any discussion of the controversy for now. Okay? But I will say putting them on screen tonight was a choice. MSK got interviewed after they won the titles.
As faces.
As faces as they were when they won the titles. And they were like, I don't know who we'll give our title shot to. Maybe it'll be Pretty Deadly since they just showed up. And I was like, no, it should be the Creeds because they friggin' won the damn tournament to get a title shot for the titles one-on-one. They still are owed that, but no, because then Grayson Waller shows up with his arm in a sling. Grayson Waller shows up with his arm in a sling because he did that ridiculous spot off the top of the ladder onto another ladder, and I can only assume seriously fucked up his arm. But he's there with Sanga, and they say they want a shot at the NXT tag team titles. Out of the fucking blue, never wrestled as a tag team before unless I'm missing something in my brain. And they got it next week.
Because why wouldn't you?
Grayson Waller, one-armed Grayson Waller. Like that
one-armed Waller.
One-armed Waller was the original pitch for One-Eyed Willie and the Goonies.
Yeah.
Anyway, one-armed Waller and Sanga versus MSK next week for the tag titles. Because, sure, why not? The first match you ever have as a tag team should be for the tag titles. And you should get that match simply because you interrupted an interview segment. Yes, all of those. Yes, we're going to have a full tag team tournament where the prize for winning it is a single match, 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 for the tag team titles. But the team that wins that tournament is apparently never going to get that match. But Grayson Waller with one arm and Sanga, who's had like one match ever, and did not look
Sanga's
particularly
not
great
even
in it.
a kayfabe. In kayfabe is not even a wrestler.
He's
security. He's not even on the roster, Alex.
Nope.
What are we doing? You have between the two of them, you have half a wrestler.
Yep.
Like, of all the things, if you didn't want one of the natural stories, you could go get one of the actual tag. You just had a tournament. You had a tournament about tag team wrestling. What on earth is this crap? You're not going to run back Imperium? You're not going to run back the Creeds? Not going to do Grizzled Young Vets?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Not Legato?
Yeah.
You could have Legato, and then you could have shenanigans with Tony D'Angelo and whoever the hell he's bringing in. You love to do that shit. You love to pretend it's ECW.
Yeah.
Overbook this crap.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Sanga's not even a wrestler in kayfabe.
Yeah.
The other guy's injured.
The Battered to One Jam Beers is one-armed wallaby, Paul brother. Yeah. And hey, what's that over there? Says would love to see Pretty Deadly versus Grizzled Young Vets versus Imperium. Well, I don't think that last one exists anymore, guys. Which sucks.
Why?
Jake Zalazar has some bad idea Well, he has some bad news for Cody Rhodes because
he was afraid he has some bad news.
They're gonna send Cody to NXT to lose to Grayson Waller. If you spend weeks building up this match to seems like you're actually gonna do something with Grayson Waller, and you bring a guy down from the main roster to NXT to have a match, rest assured Grayson Waller is gonna lose. So at least that's good. Mark Losper says MSK versus Waller and Sanga is a truly a bout of who cares versus who gives a shit. What an abysmal idea. I mean, again, I'm not going to get into it. But if their big idea for how we can let's steer clear of some controversy by taking our new tag champs off TV for a while is to transitional champ one-armed Grayson Waller and Sanga, there's got to be a better way of doing this, people. There really has to be. There really does. I mean, my God.
It's just... I thought it was going to be Grayson Waller versus Dolph Ziggler, but then Breakker went over, so I guess that. But, like, why aren't we getting Bron Breakker versus Grayson Waller? He's clearly your other dude. Mm-hmm. It's clearly what you're telling us is the top heel.
Yeah.
Why isn't Grayson Waller going for even the North American title?
Well, he can't. Why doesn't he can't wrestle. What he's going to do is hang it on the apron and let Sanga squash the tag team champs.
And then do what with the...
I don't know.
Sanga was like the one thing in that ladder match that I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
He can't sell for shit. Like, this is so bad. So bad.
The batted to one Jam Beard says that this Waller and his bodyguard Sanga going for the tag titles sounds an awful like to the AJ and his bodyguard Omos going after the New Day.
Well, that went so well. So
it did. It worked out so well for everybody, I think. So anyway, that's out of the way. So Miss Nikita Lyons and her backwards bathing suit that she wears. I mean, you know what they say? They say, Kate, that they say that her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. And they're right. It's better. They're like, it's better than yours. And damn right. It's better than yours. She says, I've heard that she could teach you, but she'd have to charge. So this is the thirst trap of the night. This is Linda's thirst trap of the night. Which is of course the Nikita Lyons wearing the same basic outfit, but now it's in red. And did you notice that her little fanny pack belts on her hips, they broke? She busted right out of her. Like everyone was like, "Oh, is she gonna bust out of her gear?" And she did, but it was in the wrong place for everybody because everyone was thirsting for this, is what I've heard. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about this?
About her gear?
About all of it, the thirstiness everyone was talking about. They were like, "Hey, get your thirstiness ready, everybody. We're about to do the Nikita Lyons match. Everyone get thirsty."
Are you asking me, have I heard about the Nikita Lyons?
Have you heard?
Lash Legend's not very good in the ring. I'm so sorry.
Yep.
I can't even focus on the Nikita Lyons thirst part because this wasn't an NXT classic. I'll put it that way. I don't really know why this was happening.
Yep.
Nikita Lyons does have boobs, it turns out, and a butt. So that's, I guess, the story here. And Lash Legend produces a talk show once every 3 months.
Yeah.
They do not keep the same energy, the two of them, at all. Yeah. I think Nikita Lyons is interesting. I hope they put her like in a feud.
Yeah.
Like that would be good. Like if she had a story so that people weren't just talking about her boobs online.
Yeah.
And her butt online.
Yeah.
That would be for the best.
I still believe that they're gonna do a big feud between her and Mandy Rose, and it's all gonna be about who gets men the thirstiest. Like that's gonna be the content of the feud is you say you're the best in NXT because you're the hottest. Well, I'm hotter than you, bitch. That's gonna be the entirety of the feud. You know?
Asuka held the title for 500 days.
Yeah, she did. Yes, she did.
The thing is, Nikita Lyons can go, but you won't put her in a story. So everybody just focuses on her butt.
You won't put her in matches with other women who can go.
Yeah,
like I would love to see her in a match where there's. I mean,
her and Ivy Nile. Like
I'll give you like a month, okay? But in May, she's got to start being in matches with people who are good. Because this whole just have her squash people, we're done with it already. I already know she's. I want to see what I know she can squash people that aren't good. Show me what she can do against other women who are good. Like who's your gatekeeper? Who's your gatekeeper on the roster? Have her beat that person.
Well,
there's got to be somebody.
Not the person with the title. Normally, that person should have either the title or a title,
right?
Or be like, I guess, like a Walter, where it's just like there's a mystique or some. It means something to beat that guy every single time. Ciampa was kind of like that. I feel like, but.
J.W. Pringle says Nikita Lyons has no clothes where the clothes should be. It's like crisscross backwards clothes, but for thirst traps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said that from the beginning. I was like, she has clothes everywhere, but the parts that ladies would put clothes.
Yeah. No, like Mark Quill says, Nikita Lyons' outfit is just like Kate Bishop from Marvel Comics, but with extra holes somewhere in her outfit. And the somewhere is right here, which just feels weird that it's like, I don't know, it's like somebody...
It just feels so disconnected from who she is as a wrestler.
Yeah, like
nunchuck wielders don't do that, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, if she's obviously has martial arts chops.
Yeah,
she can do. Her kicks are stiff as hell. Like, yeah, sure, but it feels like that wouldn't be something that you would wear if that was what you did anyway.
No, she should be dressed like Ronda Rousey or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Nikita is the NASCAR race. Lash is the safety car, says Bill Alphabet. Alpha Bill. Rob Reed says that this little portmanteau of Elton John and Prince could be creepy given the connotation to one of the songs, but hold me closer, darling Nikki. Maybe
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I just thought it was weird that it was like both Wade Barrett and Vic Joseph were like, everybody get ready to GIF this. Everybody get ready to post your memes. Everybody start thirsting. And it was just like, just let her be I have no problem with her being hot. That's fine. Yeah. It's the fact that the only way you're selling her is by how hot she is, where she can also do other stuff. If the only way you were selling Tiffany Stratton was that she was hot, fine. Because I don't see a whole lot else right now. But I think that Nikita Lyons has the total package because she appears to be the size of her immediately sets her apart from most other women's wrestlers. So she's big. Then she can do all kinds of cool kicks and stuff. That's another thing. Also, she's hot. Like all of that together, like. I don't know exactly how great she is at really cutting promos because they haven't asked her except for those terrible vignettes. Like you saddled her with a terrible gimmick and you've kind of gotten away from that, thank God. But like, if you want her to be a sensation, but you're not helping with any of the whatever.
Because they're pushing, like you said, like the third most noteworthy thing about her.
Yeah.
And you just, give us like some cool, badass, like working out vignettes. Because you know what? She seems like she probably goes to the gym. She has her protein.
Yeah.
And she starts her day off with probably a protein packed cereal. What do you think?
I would think so. In order for her to have that kind of physique, I would agree.
I would think so. So I don't know. Maybe Sean Ross Sapp can tell us about one particular protein pack cereal for you.
Yeah. Cameo. What's up, you guys? It's Sean Ross Sapp. I'm not here physically on the show right now, but I still wanted to tell you about how I'm starting my day no matter where I am with delicious Magic Spoon cereal. 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, only 140 calories per serving. Keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb. It is the ultimate breakfast food. It's the ultimate snack food, and it's the ultimate food for me to take while I'm traveling. Quick, easy, all the flavors you love. Peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, maple waffle, cocoa, fruity, frosted, all over the place. That cookies and cream and maple waffle are back permanently. And if you go to magicspoon.com/Fightful, grab a custom bundle of cereal, try it today. Use our promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout to save $5 off your order if you don't like it. They are so confident in their product. It comes with a 100% happiness guarantee. They'll refund your money, no questions asked, if you don't like it, but you will. It's perfect before, after workouts, as a snack. And my favorite thing about it is you get filled up with one serving. It's not running back and forth to the cupboard to get more, racking up those carbs, racking up those calories. Magicspoon.com/Fightful. Use that code FIGHTFUL.
Hey, you know what you can do with the $5 you save from Magic Spoon?
What's that?
You can go to Fightful Select and subscribe.
Wow.
Just $5 a month will get you the most breaking news in the wrestling industry. There's like 15 exclusive from WrestleMania that's up on Fightful Select. And if you wanted somebody to hang out with for like all of WrestleMania weekend and WrestleMania last night, you could have hung out with me and Alex on Fightful Select. We had one night 1 and night 2 coverage for you. I lost my mind on night 2. So that's pinned at the top of my Twitter profile for you to see. I said a lot of bad words. But I said one bad word a lot of times.
You did.
Because the New Day had a match that lasted 1 minute and 40 seconds and they lost. And they came out in Big E gear. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on the great value that you can get at Fightful Select. You get Alex every Monday and Friday as well. And sometimes I join when it's just too much for one person to handle. And this is not a Fightful plug. This is just something cool that I wanted to share with the world. There's a very talented artist named Naomi Rosenblum. And if you go to naomirosenblum.art on Instagram, you can find amazing artwork like this. Can you see? This insane CM Punk dog collar match piece of art that she had. Holy crap. I saw that and I was like, I have never clicked purchase faster. And she wrote me this sweet little note included. But she is just a really super skilled artist. And I loved this. It brought back like every emotion of this match and his comeback. And she has some other great wrestling ones that are up and some music ones, including Prince, who has been featured tonight several times. So go to her Instagram and check out her stuff. That is nothing to do with Fightful. That just gave me a lot of feelings when I got it in the mail and thought I would share it with you guys in case you wanted to check it out because it's just so cool. And I'm going to go buy a frame for it like yesterday. I'm so excited. Do you have anything that's not Fightful related that you just feel like plugging?
Not just yet. No.
Okay. Not your jelly beans? I feel like they deserve a shout out.
No, they're good. I wasn't doing the cashews tonight. It was salty, not
it's
sour.
True. It's true.
Hold on. Don't go breaking my party, man.
I couldn't if I read Corvette. I have a gift. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be braggadocious, but
you do. Finishing up our talk about Nikita Lyons, Mark Losper says, Nikita's gear looks like literally every male-designed body armor for a female character in any online game. The way she's marketed is pure, unadulterated sexist shite. Women being hot is great. Being marketed exclusively as hot is trash.
It's kind of like me, guys. Like, I'm really funny and smart in addition to being so beautiful.
Yeah. Right. You're hot, but if we only said but you're also smart and funny and talented and
Otherwise, you could just put a little picture of me in the corner up there.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, we would just we would tilt the camera down and you cut like a big hole in your t-shirt and we just do that. But we're not going to do that.
No, because I'm really pretty funny and smart.
You're pretty deadly.
Pretty bitches.
Oh, that's right. It's got a promo on them that's only available online or on Twitter. It's like, you call yourselves pretty deadly, but after we're done with you, you're gonna be called pretty bitches because that's what you're gonna be.
And he was just like, yeah,
that's right. I loved it. So we got a thing that it's what I was afraid of, Kate. We got a Kushida promo. Says, when you attacked me last week, that was a mistake. But then, this is all in Japanese, of course. But then when you attacked my friend Ikmanjiro, that was even worse. And then you did the ultimate insult. You tore his fancy, weird blazer in half. You took a part of him.
Do you remember the SNL sketch David Pumpkins?
Yes.
His blazer is what all of the blazers look like. Mm-hmm. That pumpkin blazer he had, it's just that with different fabrics.
Yeah.
Ripping one of those in half, it's not like it's not like what Jericho pretends his are. Jericho said he gets his at Macy's, but he pretends they're like $3,000 a piece.
Yeah. So Kushida says that he's gonna get revenge on Vern Wagner, and Mr. Showtime says poor Kushida is going to be fed to Von Wagner. Boo. Yeah, they're trying to find anybody they can to put over Von Wagner. And spoiler alert, I think a lot of people are saying no. So Kushida's
they go to the respectful Japanese guy, of course, because there's
absolutely
nobody else back there who would agree to this, right?
Yeah. So I said last week that if they just have Kushida job out to Von Wagner, that I would set something on fire. And I'm a man of my word. So next week, when he jobs out to Von Wagner, I will set something on fire on the stream.
You're moving from that house anyway, so
yeah, no, it's fine.
Arson's good.
Yeah, we got insurance. The Battle of One Jambeard says, Kate, she's smart, beautiful, funny, foul-mouthed, and the only bad thing about her is she's a damned Yankees fan.
I'm starting to agree with the last part because the Yankees' off-season moves have mostly been terrible, but
yeah. So we got Bron Breakker versus Gunther tonight. And hey, what's that over there? Says, with the Steiner brothers in the Hall of Fame, can we just call Bron by his government name now, please? Let's hope. Let's hope that after what we're about to talk about at the end of this, that's what they're headed towards. That would be nice.
Break Steiner.
Yep. That's what it is. Scott Wesley says he's got a take. He says, I can't with the support for Bron Breakker. The name sounds like a crappy cash grab mobile name. Now that's true. But then he says he's generic and boring, just a ruthless aggression era style meathead with the right dad. Now that is, in my opinion, wrong. I think he's very special. Considering how fast he's picked this up, he's only going to get better. And they don't have a lot of generic ruthless aggression style meatheads. And he's better now than almost all of those guys were at that time. And so he's only going to get better from here on out.
His quickness is like a little bit of a baby Brock.
Yeah.
Like he moves really, really well.
Yeah. So this was a good match. Walter got to feel more like Walter.
Yes.
Tonight than he did on Saturday versus Larry Knight, who also was nowhere to be found. I expect he'll be on SmackDown.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope.
Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah. But
yeah, SmackDown.
Dummy. SmackDown, yeah. Anyway. So, before the match, there was a scene in the locker room where Marcel Bartel was upset that Fabian Eichner walked out. Fabian Eichner was not in the locker room. And Walter was like, "Can you just shut up about it? Like, we'll figure it out, but I need to focus on this match now because there's a match for the NXT title." Like, that was a thing. Like, was good. I liked that. And I also liked that he was talking to Bartel. Like, I thought it was like Walter had told Fabian Eichner to walk out on Marcel Bartel as punishment for having lost the tag titles. But it appears, at least tonight, backstage on screen, that Bartel and him are still together. We'll see what happens beyond that. But I like this match a lot. This was a completely different kind of match for Bron to work, other than Ciampa, who is, I think, a pretty good like amalgam of both Ziggler's style and Walter's style.
Yes.
Like, Ciampa hits you as hard as he can, but he doesn't nearly hit as hard as Walter does. And Ziggler's way faster. You gotta deal with Ziggler's speed and his suddenness, as opposed to Walter, like, just is gonna keep plodding towards you all the time and smash you as soon as he gets close to you. I thought it was kind of a cool thing to get to watch Breakker work both styles in the course of 2 days. But yeah, Bron got chopped really hard. He was selling the shoulder, the collarbone a lot through the whole thing, was whether or not he could actually get Walter up. He kicked out of the big splash from the top rope. He kicked out of the power bomb. And I was like, because I thought they might be doing something weird here.
Why would you think that, based on the past 72 hours of wrestling that we've seen with the NXT brand?
Why would you make Bron the champion on Monday when you could have made him the champion on Saturday? And then also, if you made him the champion on Monday, why would you take the title away from him on Tuesday? But because they have been so batshit insane with their booking, Kate, I thought there was a pretty good chance they were going to do it. So imagine my surprise when Walter went for another jumping nothing off the top rope and got speared out of his boots. And then he did the full pickup, like military press into the power slam to Walter, which looked as impressive as hell.
Cool.
Tonight, Kate, was Walter's first ever singles pinfall loss in the company. Ever. He had been pinned in Survivor Series and in a tag match. But when he lost to Ilya Dragunov, he lost by submission.
What about Dunn? Oh, no, he beat Dunn.
He beat Dunn.
Duh.
Like, he had never lost, as far as I know, by pinfall to anybody. And he lost tonight to Bron Breakker. That is a thing. Now, like, you can say that sucks and that's kind of a waste of Walter, but like, I think it's a clean slate because I think he's going up.
Yeah.
And they never reference anything that happened in NXT anyway. So he's going to show up on SmackDown or Raw next week or whatever. I mean, here's the deal. I would not be surprised if they bring him up to Raw and have that be what keeps Cody Rhodes busy for a while, because Cody Rhodes is the American dream. So why not feud him with the big European guy? Like, I feel like that might be something they do on Raw. But that was really impressive. It was an impressive victory for Bron Breakker. Good that he retained. Before we get to the absolutely out of left field, bonkers fucking ending of this show, what would you like to say about the match, Kate?
I felt like this was... I don't want to eat my words. This might be my favorite 2.0 match.
Yeah.
It's definitely up there. Bron has been great in so many... I've said this before, but this was another new context that we've seen him in. Like, to work someone like Ziggler, to work someone like Ciampa, like the opponents that he's had consistently have tested him in different ways, and I feel like he's always passing with flying colors, which is really great to see. I also had a moment of like, are they going to put the title on Walter? Because I don't know what's going on with Roman Reigns, and what's going on with Roman Reigns, I really do feel like could affect Braun Breaker and when he gets called up. I feel like if there was a chance that the title gets vacated, maybe they do have Braun, and they literally might not have known that information till today. So while I would have hated it from the hot potato title perspective, they might have had to learn information about Roman Reigns today and make a decision based on that. So, I also had that moment, and I think I was just bought into the match. There were a few different times where I kind of bit here, and that is, I think, a testament to both of them. Breaker must be strong as hell because he did some really impressive stuff in there with Walter. The fact that Walter has ever gone to the top rope is so unbelievable to me, and the fact that he does well on the top rope is even more impressive. I'm adjusting to the new look. I think it's taking me some time, but I get it. I would guess that Imperium is going up, or that he's going up and the tag team's getting left behind, something of that amalgamation. I think all three of them should get called up and they could have a feud with the Bloodline. That would be really, really, really fun to do. I just feel like the only story that we haven't really had with Bloodline is another stable to counter that. I thought we were going to get that with Hit Row, but that obviously never materialized because they were like, we're calling you up to release you in a month. So I think that's a very logical place to go, especially if Roman's injured, because you can have so many different permutations out of that. But I thought the match itself was fantastic. I was relieved that Bron won, and just a lot of the spots that you mentioned were fantastic. The flying nothing is so much fun, but just so impressive. Like both of them, this felt like a very shared responsibility match. Nobody was carrying the other person at all. Like this was both of them off to the races. And some good storytelling in there. Like I was emotionally invested in this, and they kind of just like snapped it, which is an impressive feat when you announce a match earlier in the night and then you do that later in the night. I was invested.
Mark Losper says the jumping nothing is my favorite top rope move. It's always good. It's always good. Doesn't usually work, but it's always spectacular. Jake Nile says, "Don't go Braun breaking my heart."
I couldn't if I tried.
Mark Quill says, "Break a kit, man."
Break a kit, man.
She loves Rocket Man for me. So on my idea for Cody versus Walter, Mark Losper says that he's stealing from Flowman in the chat. Cody versus a foreign heel worked so well last time. Cody ended racism.
He did.
I think it's a different thing. I think if you have Walter come out and be extra foreign, it'll work with the WWE crowd. It didn't work with that because like Agogo was a sweetheart on social media and very public about it. People were like, "Hey, this guy's not so bad." Yeah. Okay, I guess we're supposed to hate British people now. Like it was just a weird thing. Anyway, so I should say this: throughout the entire night, there were a bunch of backstage promos cut by Joe Gacy with Harland in back of him, where he was like, "What happens if you can't? What happens if you can't control the chaos or something?" And because the first time we saw it, Draco Anthony was like watching it on TV in the locker room, I thought these were promos being cut for Draco Anthony. Like it was like furthering that story of Draco Anthony being brought into. There was even a weird thing between Draco Anthony and Zion Quinn, like whatever. It was kind of weird. So I thought we were moving toward that. And I was like, Joe Gacy really hasn't had any kind of meaningful program in forever. He's just been beating guys and standing around while Harland beat guys on Level Up.
Like kind of ever Joe Gacy has not had like a...
Well, he had that thing with Roddy Strong for the cruiserweight title where it was like going to be
yeah, that was good.
Like, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because it was so long ago that Roddy Strong was still the cruiserweight champion. Like that's how long ago that was.
The cruiserweight championship was still a thing.
A thing, yes. So after the match, they actually put up the little credits thing in the bottom corner, like the lower third. Remember, whenever they put up the lower third in NXT, it's never actually over. And then up on the Tron, you hear Rick Steiner's voice. Bronson, I'm really proud of you, son. I'm sorry this happened, or something like that. And the camera pulls back to see that he is tied to a chair in a cage. And there's Joe Gacy and Harland. And Joe Gacy says, well, something, whatever. Let's see if we can teach this old dog some new tricks. So I guess he's decided to ransom Bron Breakker's father for a shot at the title. Is that what we're doing here? We got a lot of humper and super chats about this. I'm going to read a few of these. Braun Wagner says, WTF, Walter felt like a transitional challenger to set up Joe Gacy, of all people, as Braun's next challenge. Mark Quill says, Braun should just fight Gacy with a sword, like Drew. Asian Joe says, was Gacy crate training the dog face gremlin? Chris Muller says, I missed 99% of NXT and tuned in to see Rick Steiner being held prisoner. Are all crimes legal on NXT property?
Imagine if it was the reverse. Imagine if you turned it off at 9:58 and then you tuned in next week.
Yeah.
My God.
Mark Losper says, between work and my absolute hatred of this wretched company, I didn't watch any of this show tonight. Seeing Doc Muller in chat mention that Rick Steiner was taken hostage doesn't really fill me with hope for a quality show. By the way, this is Rick Steiner's first TV appearance since November 4th, 1994 on WWE TV. Isn't like he was on WCW after that, obviously. Yep.
In the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Actually, it was only 3 days ago.
Yeah. Well, you know. Mark Quill says, forget horniness. NXT has a kidnapping/crime issue. Cesar Ozuna says, just got home from work. What did I miss? Kidnappings? Rick Steiner tied in the dog pound? WTF NXT? Rob Reed says, if Bron Breakker doesn't team with his Uncle Scott to break into Joe Gacy and Harlan's hell dimension to break Rick out, then what are we even doing? I like that idea.
That is the only thing that is acceptable in this.
Do you think Scotty's got one more match in him? Because I want to see Braun and Scotty versus Joe Gacy and Harlan now.
I think he could have that match left in him.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Harlan is bad.
He's terrible. He's so bad at everything in the ring. So bad at it.
Like, really bad. So it has to be a tag match, right? They're not going to do Harlan versus Braun, right?
No.
They can't do that. Well,
they might. They might, but like the title match is Braun versus Joe Gacy.
Okay.
But the thing about that, like, now here's the other thing. WWE has a terrible history of this, of people being kidnapped and then just being out the next week.
Yeah.
But the threat of them maybe being kidnapped again is there. Like, if you're holding Rick Steiner hostage and you say, I want a title match, you shouldn't release him until you get your title match. Like, otherwise it doesn't, like, the whole thing doesn't work. So I would think that Braun would be like, okay, I'll wrestle you for the title, but it's going to be next week. But they're already doing like 4 of these friggin' title matches next week. Next week is Cameron Grimes versus Solo Sikoa. It's Mandy Rose versus Dakota Kai. It's MSK versus Sanga and Waller. Are they going to add this to it too? Honestly, I don't even know.
I just don't understand how this can be good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Joe Gacy, I think, is good in the ring, but this whole thing feels like it's supposed to get Harlan over. So, what? Like, this is your NXT title program. This feels like Nyla with cheeseburgers for Britt Baker. Like, this is what you have into the gate for Bron Breakker? Why wouldn't you have it be Carmelo Hayes?
Well, I agree. I agree with that. Although I will say it doesn't quite feel like Nyla with cheeseburgers. If it wasn't cheeseburgers, but instead it was Britt Baker's mother, then I would agree with you. Like, on the same level, Joe Gacy on the same level as Nyla, but at least he made it so personal that Bron couldn't ignore it. Like, you kidnapped my dad. I guess I got to give you a title match now. I mean, that's the thing. But then again, like, Joe Gacy's done nothing to actually earn it, except for the fact that out of nowhere, he's decided to kidnap Bron's dad.
Why did Grayson Waller get a restraining order on LA Knight?
Because LA Knight beat him up.
Okay. So just to clarify, there is on camera kidnapped WWE legend. But like beating someone up after a wrestling match is like a restraining order on the spot, basically.
Yeah. Mark Losper says, Big Papa Pump on an NXT live mic? Yes, please.
I think we let maybe Bron do most of the talking on that one. I think that could go bad.
Hey, what's that over there? Lil Petey Pump and Bron versus Gary and Harlan? Yeah.
Yep.
This was just so out of the blue, out of left field. We kidnapped your father. It's like, what?
It's so bizarre. And to close with it in like the last 2 minutes is just bonkers.
Bailar Lasagna says, I didn't watch NXT, so I have no pertinent questions. Just here to support the SGS, although I think everyone would enjoy it if William Regal did a dramatic reading of the lyrics to the first verse and chorus of Radiohead's Creep. Well, we'll figure that out. We'll find that.
You don't know Creep off the top of your head?
I'm sure. Well, listen, it's been a while. Okay. It's been a while. We got one from N. Simmons 211. Absolutely no reason for Walter to be losing to Bron. He's the guy that you have win that title, unless you're bringing Walter up.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're bringing Walter up. So I would agree with you that if Walter was going to be in NXT for the next 6 months, he's the guy you have beat Bron. But he's not going to be in NXT for 6 months. Tom LaValle says, are we getting a Rick Steiner on a forklift match? And again, props to Buff Bagwell's Twitter. Still very funny and wholesome. He is.
Yeah. He is.
And Bark Losper says NXT has a thing for father stories right now. They really do.
It's a lot of dead dads.
There's a lot of dead dads and doing it for my dad, and my dad got kidnapped, and yeah.
Fathers in peril.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see here. What else? Allie C says, I spilled soda all over my pants, got soap in my eye. My flight was delayed, and somehow NXT was still the worst part of my day. Love you guys. Hashtag Picklemania.
Allie, baby girl, what happened to you on your flight home? Were you talking to your best friend, Sasha Banks, and things just went all awry because you were so excited to talk to her? You were like, oh my God, and then you spilled your soda. How did you get soap in your eye? I need details. I'm sorry that you had that travel day.
Stormin Norm says, I'm your party man, rock a party like a rocket man. This place is great. It is great, Stormin Norm. It's a lot of fun. We love our little community here. Chris Pereira says, if we don't get Bron Breakker changing his name to Bron Steiner out of them making the Hall of Fame dog-faced gremlin look like a pathetic old man, I will lose whatever remains of my sanity. I may eat my TV.
You won't.
That's my hope. I hope that this whole thing is like him connecting with his father. Says, now to honor my father, I will be Bron Steiner on the main roster. I think wouldn't that be nice to get all of that?
Wouldn't it be nice if things made sense?
It would. N. Simmons 211 says, oh my goodness, they're going to put Walter in overalls and stick him with Sheamus, aren't they? Different accents. Not part of the British Isles.
They would never take someone. I'll just pick Kofi Kingston for no reason and give them an accent that doesn't correlate with where they're actually from, right, man?
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Jake Niles says the Dark Stein rises, the origin of the Bron Man.
I don't have my Batman nails anymore, but
yeah. Mark Losper says also this is true. I don't care how old he is. I refuse to believe that Rick Steiner couldn't suplex both Joe Gacy and Harland out of their shoes simultaneously. Rick Steiner rules. Harland is worse than nails. Treat legends better.
I will say I feel like Steiner would be very in on this. Right? Like, doesn't this feel like something that Steiner would want to do? But here's the thing. If I were an NXT employee, first of all, I would just quit because I hate all my coworkers and there's a very high chance that I get like kidnapped or something in the parking lot. But I would also simply be carrying a knife or a gun at all times if I was anywhere in the parking lot or backstage. Even just to protect your orange soda. People just whack it out of your hand at any point.
Ricardo the Bad Guy says, now we're going back through all of our Humper and Super Chats to go back to the beginning here.
Get them in now. Last call for your Super Chats and Humper Chats. Burr, 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 burr.
Ricardo the Bad Guy says, I am offended on a deep level that fucking Kushida, is going to do the job to Vern Wagner. What in the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Come Tuesday, I'm going to beat you, Kushida.
I'm Robert Stone. My guy's going to beat you, maybe. I only have losers in my managerial stable.
Mark Losper says, I want Grayson Waller to face Logan Paul and then for the ring to get hit by a fireball. Fireball. Let's not forget, Rick Steiner wasn't afraid of Chucky, says Jambeard, but you're telling me he couldn't take these two? Well, they are bigger than Chucky.
A little bit.
Hey, what's that over there? It says MSK should be in AEW. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like they should be on the main roster, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, but nothing else notwithstanding anything else surrounding half of NXT.
No.
I do think they should have been on the main roster a while ago, that they were ready for that and could have added a lot to that scene up there.
But you could put Technical Team 2000 in this, what they did booking wise, and it wouldn't make sense. And they're the greatest tag team of all time.
Oh yeah. The Nerd Guru says 3 years ago today, the greatest NXT black and gold match of all time.
Oh my God, Gargano and Cole.
2 out of 3 falls. Edge of my damn seat the whole time. It was a friggin' great match. It really was. Leave the memories alone.
We cannot do that.
Man, unfortunately. The Battered to One Jam Beard says, sounds like Vince Russo is booking NXT. Title changes just for the hell of it and over-sexualizing the women. It's true. Shot Kid 29 says NXT was good but weird. Thunder Rosa, Trisha Dora, Jody Threat, and the Hex were there. Veda Scott was on a commentary. Oh, wait. LOL. No, that was not the same thing at all. Hashtag SGS.
You know how to get to my heart, all the women you just named.
Talking about Cody versus Walter. Hey, what's that over there? Says, I think they're going to run Seth and Cody back at least 4 to 5 times first. I mean, I hope they don't, but they probably will. You're right. All right. Here we go. There we go. The JW Pringle and Paul Hensler saga. Getting to that late this evening.
That's Paul
says,
to you,
JW Pringle says, I've had a very bad day, but if you think that is going to stop the greatest, longest running storyline in all of sports entertainment, you got another thing coming. Paul Elizabeth, I hope your day was grand. SGS, for life. Mr. Paul Hensler says, Mr. Pringle, I'm sorry you had a bad day. Perhaps team hashtag Kalex can make it better. Gabagool forever.
JW Pringle, I'm so sorry you had a bad day.
Yeah, it's not good.
Can we do something to make it better? Can we, because he had a bad day, can we give him a free a free pass on something we should do or sing or something, an impression. You get a free impression pass because you had a bad day. Now, don't everybody say you had a bad day just to get one. JW Pringle is a very consistently chatty guy. But just put a bunch of stars in your chat and we'll do a free song or impression for you, JW Pringle, because you had a bad day.
So Nerd Guru says NXT has more than one crime family. Did you see RJ City's tweet?
No.
He says,
have you heard?
He said RJ City said, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna have a voice come on before my music, and it's just gonna say words before my song, and everyone's gonna go, oh, very self-referential, very good. Words before my song. Mark Losper says NXT 2.0 versus WCW 2000. What's a worse show? I mean, that's a tough one. WCW 2000, like, that was so bad. NXT 2.0, at least they let the 2.0, at least they let people work. At least they let people do matches. 2000 was like, they just like, everything was a schmoz. Nothing made, like, they made Vince Russo the champ. Like, I mean, it's better than that. 2.0 is better than that, right?
They do have people that can work and they are allowed to work. It's just that the booking doesn't make sense. So, like, we see a lot of our favorites a lot of times, I feel like. We've seen a lot of Braun Breaker and Carmelo and Diamond Mine. And
okay. I got to get through these. I got to get through these because we're already down to the last 10 minutes. New Day got screwed out of being in WrestleMania. They got moved from the one night to the other night, and then they minute and a half match. It just made me so sour. I got cured of my diabetes because diabetes is for sweet things. Okay, there you go. Battle One Jam Beer said I've had a bad hair day. What about that? Brent Lockman says, of course you're still going. Just dropping off my tithe and then passing out. Assuming you two sleep. Have a good night. Mark Quill says, please get this donation for Kate and her stupendous ad reads on behalf of the Council of Marks.
Just segues. They're all Sean. I just segue in.
Mark Quill says, I think we can make Kate an honorary member of the Council of Marks. We appreciate her appreciation for us, the Council of Marks, and Bill and Kate. Ryan Lewis says, hi, just got home from the bar. Immediately turned to my appointment viewing of Kalex. Glad I'm here. Now I hope NXT was good, but I don't care what happened. Just here for Kalex. Very true. Mark Losper says, I just realized that we are the NXT crowd going into business for ourselves. We are NXT. J.K. Schwal says, Kate has dropped A League of Their Own, and That Thing You Do references into like the last 4 days. Feels like an eternity ago. My God.
I don't know what year it is, apparently, but there you go.
Harry Azawa says, hi, Kate. Hi, Alex. What did I miss? No matter how bad it was, just remember you're the reason many still smile. Oh, Harry, you're the sweetest ever. Thank you. Matthew Plus, this guy. Streaming service, Matthew Plus. I don't watch NXT. I don't care about NXT. I'm not going to watch NXT. I won't watch this SG show. I don't like either Al or Katie. Yeah. However, I do respect the TF out of how much work you put in recently. So here's some money for Katie to fix her bangs. Bye. Whoa! Whoa! My goodness. This
Matthew
guy.
Plus.
This
You're
guy.
coming after these bangs. Do you know how much money these bangs have made? And I am in wrestling podcasting for the money as anybody gets into it. All right. These bangs are legendary in this business. You cannot find another wrestling podcaster with bangs like this. No offense to Denise Salcedo. I don't even think she has bangs because she fears getting them because this is too tough to compete with. So don't come in here talking about my bangs when I've run every other podcaster's bangs out of town. Matthew Plus, Matthew sucks.
Graham B
Read the
says,
super chats.
Graham B says, that when we were waiting for the show, he was listening to Dave Bowie's Changes, but it was in his mind it was like Calyx. Yeah, there we go. Peyton Carter says late start for me, but I'm guessing the show was not very good. Don't worry though, because tomorrow night we get Young Bucks versus FTR Part 2. So true. Nerd Guru says all about the bangs. Kate rules, baby. The Battle to One Jam Beer. Can we get an alternative rock lounge Walter singing Glycerin by Bush? Apparently, yes, you can. Hold on. This is gonna be a photo finish, guys. It must be your skin I'm seeking in. It must be for real. Because now I can't feel. And I didn't mind. It's not my kind. It's not my time to wonder why everything gone white, everything gray. Now you're here. And now you're away. I don't want this. Remember that. I'll never forget where you're at. Don't let the gays go by. Glycerine. Glycerine. Yeah. Okay, that was good. Thank you very much. Battle of One Jam Beard. Tony D reads Starfish and Coffee by Prince. It was 7:45. We were all in line to greet the teacher, Miss Kathleen. First was Kevin, then came Lucy. Third in line was me. All of us were ordinary compared to Cynthia Rose. She already stood at the back of the line, a smile beneath the nose. Her favorite number was 20, and every single day, if you asked her what she had for breakfast, this is what she'd say. Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam, butterscotch clouds, a tangerine, and a side order of ham. If you set your mind free, baby, maybe you'd understand. Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam. Thank you. I'm supposed to do the Independence Day speech, not the whole thing. I can't do the whole thing. Here we go. Good morning. Good morning. In less than an hour from here, other aircrafts will join others from around the world, and you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have a new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom, not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. Should we know today, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. All right. 2.5 minutes. I can get this done.
My God.
All right.
This is not a wrestling review show anymore. I don't know what it is, but it's a variety show of some sort.
Mark Quill says, we ain't going to business for ourselves, but at least it's more entertaining than most WWE shows. Long live SGS. Here we go. All right. What is this? What was this thing? I wanted William Regal. Yeah, okay. Here we go. When you were here before, couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I want to have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. So fucking special. I wish I was special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here.
War games.
War games. War games. Kate. Quickly, they can find you at Miss Kate Fabe.
Yeah, you can.
And then you can find me at Alex Sarah Graps. You do the Mark Order podcast tomorrow, and I do the one here on the Fightful channel.
I have my first commentary gig on Saturday at Excite Wrestling. Follow along on Twitch, /Excite Wrestling with an X with no E.
Yep, that's good.
I do Friday nights on Fightful YouTube too. But you guys do that.
Mark Quill asked me, Linda and Sheila, to reenact she wore a crown and she came down in a bubble dawn. Grow up! Grow up! But I don't think that we can do that because I don't think that we know all the words to that. But there you go.
No.
There you go. The Wicked Witch of the East, bro. Thank you, everybody. Go to my Twitter at Alex Sourgraps if you want to know what the hell that was. But thanks, guys, for being here. We'll see you next time.
Everything sucks.
Keep cool, Gabagool.